What? Practically on time? Oh my God. I know, right? What's going on, people? How's your day? I'm still living life in the in between. It feels like we're in the upside down. There's a meme that kind of like illustrates it perfectly. And let me see if I can find it real quick. uh, come on. There it is. This is everybody right now. Except I'm still confused and full of cheese. Not so much fat. Hi, Chew. How you doing? How were your holidays? Did you have fun? Oh, right. Yesterday was New Year's Day, so I wasn't here. But I was here on New Year's Eve and today, so that's twice this week, which honestly is so confusing. Today feels like the Mondayest Thursday ever. It's just been weird. Um, Especially because also the 49ers schedule was weird, right? They played on Monday night instead of Sunday and still managed to lose, even though they played a really good game. You know, I don't understand all these people who are just like, we need a new coach. Really, guys? Do you think it's the coaching? Do you think it's bad coaching that put us in the Super Bowl last year with a practically rookie quarterback? I don't know. Hey, John, how's it going? Has it been a long time? I feel like it's been a week or a month. Time is kind of fluid at this point because every day is like a holiday or a weekend or a work day, and I don't know what order they're going to be in anymore. I wish we could get the holidays. Like, can't we all just get together and be like, listen, y'all know you made up Christmas as a date a long time ago. Can we just make Christmas like Thanksgiving, except not on a Thursday? Or make it on a Thursday and then give everybody the day off on Friday too. Like, let's make all the holidays just long weekends from now on. Can we do that? Hey, Jacob. Off work only to go back to work. That is true. I did make sure I got a lot of rest yesterday though. That was nice. Sorry, I got a text. Whew, I am still super tired. Yeah. Still stupid tired. No excuse for it. I have been sleeping like a crazy person lately. I sleep more than I go out, which is weird for me. Still tired. Almost done with this coffee. Still tired. This morning, I was like, I can't get out of bed now. I am too tired to move. I'm seriously thinking about what? Chris Roberts. Dude, don't think I didn't notice that you hearted your own comments on my live stream on New Year's Eve. And you tell me to calm down, you hyper bastard. How was your mountain bike / dog walk on New Year's Day? I would love to wake up. Coffee's just not doing it anymore. I'm gonna have to get something stronger. Like espresso. Yesterday, I drank an entire French press and an espresso. And the only thing I had to do yesterday was go have dinner with my family. And I was still late and tired and had no makeup on because I was like, whatever, you people know what I look like. We're not taking pictures. Although then my sister took pictures. I was like, what are you? Oh, she took video. That's what it was. Apparently, I am the only woman in my family that knows how to open a bottle of champagne because my mom, my sister, and my sister-in-law were all at dinner last night and they're like, you got to open the champagne. And I was like, yeah, not a problem. But then they videoed me opening the champagne. as though it were an event. But the champagne was a gift from an old exchange student of ours. It was like actual French. It was actual champagne that he brought over from France. Yeah, you had fun. It is almost bedtime for you. Hey, I'm gonna complain to you about this because why not? You know, people. So I did do that thing where you call the garbage company and you go, hey, my garbage can is busted. Can I get a new one? And they were like, yeah, we'll bring you a new one. Make sure your garbage can is out on your trash day for these days. And then I did, and then they didn't give me a new one. So now I still have a trash can with no lid, which isn't a big deal for me, but I kind of almost feel bad for the garbage men who have to like dump that thing after a rain when it's got like nothing but cat litter and water in it. Ooh. But then again, they're the guys who broke it, and they're the guys who were supposed to bring a new one, and they didn't. I don't know what's up with that. You can't fix stupid. There's a fact for you. Hi, Miguel. How are you? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year. Hey, Dennis. Happy New Year. Do some jumping jacks. You know what? Hey, Jeff. How are you doing? You feeling better? Every time I talk to you, you got another malady happening. I hope you're feeling good. Yeah, jumping jacks won't do it. In fact, honestly, jumping jacks would probably cause me to pop a knee out of socket or something. But I do tend to walk around the station just to try and like get some blood pumping. And actually, I usually work standing up until I log on to talk to you guys, because if I'm standing up, you guys can't see me, right? I mean, you can, but then you're also looking like right up my nose, and then also like at my like chin waddle, which I feel is like an unflattering photo. So I sit down to talk to you guys, whereas most of the time I'm on the air, I'm standing up. And still tired. You can't fix stupid, and you can't fix tired. Hey, Mike, Happy New Year. You love your Peloton? I love my treadmill. I was on the treadmill today. Ooh, my chair is falling down. Woo! That happened. There we go. You guys know who I saw today? Lamont. That's right. He's coming back on Monday, and he was in here today. I saw Smelly too. Lamont and Smelly were getting some stuff ready for Monday, which is cool because it was really hard to lose Lamont and Snelly at the same time. Hang on a second. Hi, it's the Bone.
Hi, is Bruce there?
I don't have anybody here that there's named Bruce.
Sorry, this is wrong number. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I love the Bone.
Okay. were you trying to hit redial because you thought you talked to Bruce last, but you forgot you tried to call in for those tickets?
No, I'm half blind, but I'll call in for tickets.
Oh, well, I gave the tickets away in the 3 o'clock hour. So if you're around in the 3 o'clock hour, I'll do it again tomorrow.
Who is this?
Who do you think it is? It's Nikki.
This is Nikki. Awesome. Honored to talk to you.
Oh, you as well. Tell Bruce I said hi.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye.
You got it, man. Cheers. Hi, it's the Bone.
Hey, Nikki, this is Saul. I texted you about the Tom Petty song.
Hey, Saul. What's up?
Hey, not much. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, good. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Saul.
So can they no longer say roll another joint?
I have not heard it the way you keep saying it is. You're the only person who's ever said they heard it that way.
You just played it, and that's exactly what I heard.
Yeah, I wasn't listening, but there are no FCC regulations against saying roll a joint or hit a joint or anything to that effect. The FCC regulations only cover obscenity.
Okay. Yeah. Because I know the song upside down like everybody else, and when they said hit instead of roll, I was like, don't tell me now you can't even say that, you know?
Nope. Whatever it is you heard, I have no idea. It's got nothing to do with any level of censorship. Maybe there's another version of the song out there. I don't know.
Okay. That's what I thought also. Hey,
Yeah.
another question for you. I heard something earlier about Lamont coming back.
Yes, Lamont comes back on Monday.
He does. Okay, so I heard it right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, nice chatting with you. Take care.
You too. Take care, Saul.
Okay, bye.
Cheers. He said that before, and I've never heard it. I've only heard the song the way the song was written, Roll Another Joint. And he's like texted before. Sorry, I don't know why it's doing this. He's like texted before and been like, hey, it said something different. And I'm like, no, it didn't. And he's like, yeah, it did. I just heard it. And I was like, I was just listening and I didn't hear it. So that's not the first time we've had that conversation. Although it is weird to get 2 calls back to back after 0 calls all day, all night. The minute I start talking to you guys. Go figure. Anywho, yeah, you know what, Chris? I don't think I would love a Peloton, but you know what I do need to do is I need to get my actual bicycle down to somebody who can give it a tune-up. Like a really serious tune-up because it's gross. It probably needs like new tires and everything. Like it almost would be cheaper to get a new bike. That's how bad my bike is. But I do want to get that thing together. Do you guys want to see my Christmas present earrings that my sister and my sister-in-law gave me last night? They're bones. Aren't they cute? They're snake vertebrae. She's like, you're okay with bones, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, duh. Hey, Dan, how's it going? You know what, Mike? I agree. I think Chasta and Baby Huey did do a good job. I do miss Lamont too. I hope things will. I hope we get not a new morning show, but not the same old morning show. I hope it ends up being something that is like a hybrid of the two. Yeah, there's probably another version of the song, Mike. And you know what happened is maybe it got uploaded by corporate because at some point corporate converted a lot of our music to their music library instead of the local music library that we had here. Would I get an e-bike, Dan? I mean, I can't really justify the expense. I don't think I would need an e-bike for anything. E-bikes are really good for people who like live in the city, you know, or if I was, hi Amanda, or if like we have a guy who was working here before they went total work from home, and he lived close enough to a BART station where he could e-bike to the BART station. Oh, I take that back. You know what? He wasn't e-biking. He was e-scootering. He had his own e-scooter, and e-scooters are bomb in the city. And for him, because like he could e-scooter to BART and then hop on the BART train with his e-scooter and then e-scooter from BART here to the office or to wherever he wanted to go. E-bikes, you know, I have some friends in San Diego that have e-bikes and they seem to like them, but I feel like the bloom is off that rose pretty quick. I don't think I have a lot of use for an e-bike personally. Whereas with a regular bike, I could just, you know, tool around the neighborhood and get some exercise, which is probably all I would do with it anyway. AZDZ tomorrow night in Mill Valley. You know, the AZDZ is still very confusing to me. I don't know why both bands are so angry about holding on to the name. I mean, you're both fucking AC/DC cover bands, dude. Get the fuck over it. Somebody change your name. There's got to be some better names out there, right? Remember Hell's Bells? We used to have, 3 or 4 all-girl AC/DC cover bands, and not one of them fought over the name, right? We had AC/DC, we had Hell's Bells. Who else was there? Does anybody remember? At any point. Brad, I'm not going to Mill Valley for nothing. You know that. That's too damn far. Oh, and tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's tomorrow All Shall Perish are at the DNA Lounge, bro. And I got to go to All Shall Perish tomorrow night at the DNA Lounge so that I don't have to drive back into the city to go to All Shall Perish at the DNA Lounge on Saturday, which I might still end up doing, but for the most part, I don't want to. I don't want to drive into the city again for a show when I can see that show on Friday and drive into the city for work anyway. Thanks, Sherry. Snake vertebra. Sounds creepy. They must have bleached the crap out of these bones too, because they're just like super clean and bright white. Like they almost look like a mold, but they're not because they're delicate. E-bikes are good for people that like participation trophies. You're funny. No, e-bikes are good for like my friends in San Diego. They have e-bikes, right? And they live kind of deep in the burbs of San Diego. So for them, an e-bike is nice because they can e-bike their way to the beach and then regular ride the bikes at the beach and then e-bike their way home. But I don't think it does a lot around here. I don't think we've got, at least for me, not living deep in the burbs where I do, where there's no beach. I have to drive to everything. Thanks, Amanda. You're considering getting an e-bike just to cruise the Embarcadero? Yeah, or a scooter, right? I mean, those scooters are like half the cost of an e-bike. And if you're in the city already, you really don't need the bike. You could just scoot. Indian Motorcycle makes an e-bike. That sounds like something that's going to be overpriced. I don't know. I mean, the original Indians are not the same as the current Indian Motorcycle Company. There was like a buyout, from what I understand, from my motorcycle riding friends. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about Indian quality anymore. Indian Motorcycle Company quality, I should say. You saw an all-girl AC/DC cover band called Back in Black in Vegas? Cool. Indian motorcycles were bought by Polaris. So what you're saying is my story checks out, Dan. My story checks out. What did everybody do for New Year's Eve? Anything? I had my New Year's Eve on Monday, which frankly, I'm really glad I did because I had a blast at the Fox Theater. I saw a ton of people. And then on New Year's Eve, I was in bed by midnight. But I did not bother trying to fall asleep before midnight because people like to text you. How does this happen, dude? Like, how many did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Happy New Year's texts on New Year's Eve between 11:30 and 12:30. I love you. I love hearing from you. Maybe not on New Year's Eve at midnight. I mean, if I'm the person you're thinking of, like, how many people are you saying Happy New Year's to? Like, we could all talk later. You know what I mean? Like, it's not crucial. You don't have to hit me on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve or Christmas Day or New Year's Day or whatever. Just hit me on a Tuesday, man. I like to time shift all my holidays for convenience. This is why I like the idea of, shifting all those holidays to Fridays. Fridays and Mondays, man. Why not? Dan, you watched The Godfather? Fair enough. I actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, I did like a full marathon of Hercule Poirot mysteries. You know, the Kenneth Branagh Hercule Poirot movies. Have you seen those? It's like Death on the Nile and Something in Venice and what was the first one? Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, I watched those 3 on New Year's Eve. And then went to bed early. Drunks are annoying when you're sober. Drunks are annoying when you're drunk. It's just that you're drunk too, so you can't really talk. Oh yeah, Mandy, you live in Mission Bay? Oh yeah. Maybe even a regular bike would be fun for that, you know? You're so close, Amanda, you could probably just rent an e-scooter. It'd be super easy. You could buy an e-scooter. They're tiny, easy to fit in the closet. Have I seen Carry On? Oh, Carry On. Yes, I have seen that. Well, you know, I love Jason Bateman. So honestly, Jason Bateman could probably read the phone book and I would watch it because he's hilarious. I feel like he could have been creepier in this one. Honestly, after professing my love for Jason Bateman's acting, I feel like he was miscast in this. I feel like that role would have been better with no star, you know, or maybe somebody who we're used to seeing in like a serious / action sort of role. I feel like Viggo Mortensen would have been good in that one. I don't know. It was good though. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. I would see it. It had a couple of pacing issues, right? Like I feel like they could have done a little better with it, but I still very much enjoyed it, if that makes sense. Across the street, you can rent the bikes. Oh yeah, nice. Why not, right? You know what else I discovered? Everybody's going to tune me out now, but for anyone who's a fan of Downton Abbey, I was yesterday years old when I found out that that entire series was based on a movie called Gosford Park by Robert Altman. Who knew? And it was kind of a whodunit murder mystery. And the whodunit murder mystery takes place at an English country estate with the full gambit of, you know, people downstairs and people upstairs, and you know the aristocracy and the way everybody acts differently, and the order of propriety and rank being established and enforced and all that crazy stuff. It was fascinating to see basically what is the inception of Downton Abbey. And you can totally see now, like going back, how they literally just plucked specific characters from this movie and we're like, oh yeah, we're basing this entirely on this guy. It was a trip. Everybody's all, Downton Abbey, really? Yes, I have seen every episode of Downton Abbey and the movie. Every single one. I have like a weird affinity for UK culture. What would I call that? I don't know. Maybe it just justifies the fact that that's where all my DNA turned up, was in the UK. Don't get me started on how the Tudors are garbage. Plantagenet kings, those are the ones that we should have held on to. Hi, Jason. Happy New Year. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say English culture or the history or the both. Whatever. I know people's eyes glaze over when I start talking about the War of the Roses, and it's not a movie with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. But that's okay. There was something else I was going to tell you guys. What was it? God, something this morning. Can't remember now. What happened this morning? Anything? Nope. Oh, Bridge Toll. Dude, I finally got to the bottom of that. By Leah Remini. Why are you making a Scientology reference? Weirdo. Happy New Year, Jason, if I didn't say that already. Sorry. Shit, I remembered the thing I was going to say and then I forgot it. I hate when that happens. Oh, well. What do you guys want to hear? What stories can I tell you today? Because I know nobody wants to hear, oh, now I remember. Ha! This is a bit insane to me. So, does anybody know Charlene Kay? Have you ever seen her? She's kind of hilarious. She is a performer, for lack of a better word. And she'll do this, like, I follow her on Instagram. And what she was doing on Instagram when I started following her was setting up her phone to record her playing guitar at Guitar Center, where she would intentionally play the song just a little bit wrong, just to wait for dudes to come up and mansplain how to play the song to her, which is hilarious because apparently men can't help themselves. They could walk, like if you were a dude, let's be honest, if you were a dude and you walked by another dude who was butchering a song, you wouldn't stop and be like, bro, you need some help. This is how you do it, right? But a woman does like the teeniest little bit thing wrong, you know, like wrong key or wrong fret or whatever, just like a little bit off. These dudes got to stop and be like, oh, hey, let me show you how to do that. And it's hilarious how cliche it is and how it like seems to always happen. Maybe it doesn't always happen. Maybe she has to sit there for hours on end until she catches one, but whatever. That shit was hilarious. So I was watching it like crazy, right? So I started following her and she does a bunch of other funny stuff. And she had this post. She still has this post. I can find it. Where she was doing videos because her mom like hates when she has armpit hair. Her mom is always like, ew, stop it. And I guess she posted something about how she has a comedy routine and it's like a tiger daughter because she's a child of Asian parents. And so she was posting about that. And I guess she posted something and it's like a picture of her, right, with her armpit. And then she posted like all these really shitty comments that she got from dudes about her armpit hair and how everybody was like super aggro. And I commented, we should teach all the girls that growing armpit hair is nature's way of filtering out weak men. Sit with that for a second. Okay. So then she screenshotted or referenced my comment and put it in her stories. So I put it in my stories. And when I put it in my stories, I got similar comments of people with like their vomit emojis and like, ew, that's gross. And oh my God, that's dirty and whatever. And I was just like, oh, the irony, gentlemen, that you are the ones we are weeding out. I don't even have like I have armpit hair sometimes and sometimes I don't, like whatever. It doesn't matter to you because it's my fucking armpits and you're not up in them, right? But the fact that dudes needed to come out to her and now to me by extension with like their opinions on armpit hair is just bizarre. And then the amount of dudes who think that a woman with armpit hair is like dirty or gross or unhygienic, yet every man ever, unless they're a swimmer or a water polo player, has armpit hair and it's somehow like natural for guys to do it. That's natural. And I was just like, wow, you guys. Wow. Just a little teeny drop of feminism. And dudes were like, oh no, God, no, I can't have that. And it just cracked me up. And I was like, they still don't realize they're the ones we're trying to weed out. Oh, wow. Yeah, so filtering out weak men one at a time. What would be the next thing I should post to filter out weak men? I mean, if you're like literally vomiting over a woman with armpit hair, like wow. The French women have armpit hair. Yeah, all of Europe, Rodney. Like America is, yeah, the United States has a lot of shave marketing going on, I guess. I don't know. Jacob, when you saw the picture of armpit hair, you thought, I wonder if it's painful? Is your armpit in pain from having hair there? Because no, armpit hair is not painful. Stubble might be an irritant to the armpit, especially in warm weather. So if you're somebody who's been shaving and then you have the stubble part and not the actual hair, that would be painful or uncomfortable or irritating. Mostly what's painful is people who are constantly shaving their armpits and then they don't always have like the sharpest or the cleanest razor and they end up getting like sores or stubble or ingrown hairs or whatever. That would be painful. But wow, like the number of people that came out of the woodwork to be all like, armpit hair, how dare you, was like eye-opening. So eye-opening. Amanda, you can't do armpit hair? Like you just can't? Yeah. I mean, you do you, girl. If you don't want it, don't have it, don't care. But if you do have it, like, why would random dudes on the internet feel the need to tell you you shouldn't? Just saying. It was eye-opening, is all I'm saying. Hey Ray, how's it going, man? Well, like I said, Amanda, you do you, right? I mean, but it would be weird if you were to be scrolling through Instagram and notice that someone else had armpit hair and then be like, vomit emoji, vomit emoji, vomit emoji, vomit emoji. Where's that? Let me see if I can find it. I literally got like what was like something like 8 vomit emojis. Where is it? Let's see. And people are lucky I'm not going to out them, but yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 vomit emojis. Somebody was that grossed out. Cry face. Okay. Oh, that's just weird questions. Oh, and sick face vomit emoji. Gotcha. Here's another one saying, "Nah, I'm good." Nobody asked you. It was not an offer. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, so anyway, that whole thing just felt super weird. I'm good, Ray. Thanks for asking. I do remember the Vic Hubbard days. Free hot dogs and hot rods. We had fun. I don't know what's going on with Vic Hubbards anymore. I don't think they're an advertiser. Are they still open? Yeah, right, Jason. I mean, who cares if it's not you? Like, and maybe if you're somebody who doesn't find armpit hair attractive, let me know when you became someone who found armpits attractive and like where that attraction stems from, right? Because like of the things that you are typically attracted to in another human being, like where in the top 10 does the armpit fall of things that have attracted you about a person? You know, is it like smile, eyes, personality, armpits? How does that go? How does that go? Dan, I just want to eat a block of cheese forever. Oh my God. Did I tell you guys? I did, right? I told you about the cheese plate. I told you on New Year's Eve. Oh my God, that cheese was so good. And then I gave my sister the Ski Queen cheese. So I got to have Ski Queen cheese for dessert last night. And oh, she had this really great, like the Bon Maman apricot jam. It's like a low fruit French spread. It's not a jelly. It's not quite a jam, maybe a fruit spread. Anyway, whatever that falls into. So good. So we had like rice crackers with like the apricot jam with like a brie. Oh my God. For those who don't know, my sister is an amazing cook. She did like an entire prime rib dinner last night. And then we had like cheese plate for dessert, which was amazing. Oh, they closed. Oh, bummer. Yeah, you know what? You can't, it's so hard to be a local business like Vic Hubbard's, you know, dealing in auto parts and not, and competing with corporations, right? I mean, how on earth could they maintain a brick and mortar location in some places expensive as Hayward and then have to compete with, you know, the O'Reillys and the auto zones that are like advertising nonstop and carrying everything under the sun and charging less for it because they're getting a corporate discount bulk rate. This is why I try not to shop corporations or eat corporate restaurants whenever I can. It hurts my heart to hear that family-owned businesses that used to be community businesses like Vic Hubbard's, you know, went out of business. Yeah, Amanda, I'm not trying to criticize how anybody looks. I'm just pointing out, have fun walking the dog, Jason. I'm just pointing out that like people in America have been so, I don't want to say brainwashed, but like the marketing in America has been really strong to the point where we just think armpit hair doesn't exist anymore. And we find it somehow related to the standard of attraction. So much so that if you see a woman with armpit hair, so many men's like initial reaction is like nausea, which makes no sense to me. Like, it's an armpit, dude. Like, why are you attracted or unattracted by that particular part of the body to begin with? But why also so much so that you would be like physically ill at the thought of dating a woman who had armpit hair, regardless of how physically attractive every other aspect of her is? I kind of want to start having like supermodels doing growing out the armpit hair if any of them haven't lasered it all off all the way. You know who else is making a great point on this? Pamela Anderson. Remember when Pamela Anderson came out with her documentary like what, 2 years ago, I think now? And she was like, I'm not doing makeup anymore. She's like, nope, forget it. It's not happening. And now she's like literally out on red carpets and stuff, just like no makeup, just like, yes, hi, I'm still Pamela Anderson. You know, woman in her, what is she, 60 now, I think? No, 50 something. How old is Pamela Anderson? $57. Yeah. So she is, you know, a 57-year-old woman going out with no makeup on and giving zero fucks and being welcomed into fashion society for it. It's kind of awesome. Okay, hang on a second, guys. I got to do a thing here. Really? How is that still behind? Okay, hold on. This is a time of year where we don't have a lot of commercials, and when we don't have a lot of commercials, everything times out a little differently. But for some reason, the computer doesn't seem to do the math until it gets to the commercial break. And then it's like, oh, we thought this was going to be 6 minutes of commercials, but it was only 4. And so now you're 2 minutes off. but it's never that exact either. It's always like, and now you're just a little bit off. And I'm somebody who's very adamant about wanting everything to be right on time, because I don't know if you know how our rating systems works, but for us to get credit for people listening, people have to listen for 6 minutes straight. They have to listen for a 6-minute block within a specific quarter hour, right? So say it's noon. You've got until 12:15 to listen for 6 straight minutes. Now, if you start listening at 12:12, that's only 3 minutes. That means it doesn't count. So now you're listening from 12:12 to 12:18. That 6-minute block doesn't count because it's 3 minutes in 2 different quarter hours. So if you had a Nielsen meter, we wouldn't get credit for you listening. It just wouldn't happen, even though you listened for a 6-minute block. So what I do is I try to make sure that the commercials hit right at the quarter hour, at the 3 minutes before and the 3 minutes. So I try to make sure that the commercials are 3 minutes before and 3 minutes after the quarter hour, so that if you're going to tune in, you're most likely to tune in before the commercials or after the commercials, and you're most likely to tune in within a quarter hour. Bet you didn't know I was that insane, did you? The maths, trust me. Peppermint cheesecake sounds awesome, Ray. I know your wife is a great cook. She's still a baker? Where's she baker now? Or is she still at the same place? Hey, Justine. Oh, Justine, I got your email. I just didn't have time to reply yet, but Happy New Year. Sorry I missed you on New Year's Eve. I know I have been very sporadic lately. Blame it on the in-between of the holidays, you know? Oh, Dan, trust me, I know people have a thing for feet. But we're not even talking about fetishes here, are we? We're just talking about body parts. And that's why it's weird, right? Because why would you fetishize armpits? I mean, you fetishize anything, just full stop right there. But that doesn't seem to be what this is. This seems to be like misogyny, in my opinion. Hi, Kardik. How are you? Oh, Justine, I'm not shaving for you or anyone else. If I feel like shaving, I'm going to shave. And if I don't, I don't. And if there's a dude that wants to date me, he's going to have to like accept that fact. Because I believe that that's what a mature person does, is accepts that you have orchestrated your personal body hair in a way that makes sense for you, not them or anyone else. Because it's personal, right? You met Pamela Anderson in an elevator and didn't recognize her? Yeah, she looks very different without makeup. Very different. Hang on a sec. It's the Money Man, and he's got 2 tickets to paradise. I'm Nikki Blakk, and the rest of us, well, we stayed home for the holidays. It's still very confusing to me where we are in the holiday system. I know that it's almost over, but I am still very much full of cheese and confused as to what day this is or when the weekend is happening or what's going on anymore. Okay. Rodney, you asked Alexa what? Did I miss something that you asked Alexa? Yeah, at some point, Amanda, you passed up Pamela Anderson in age. Hey, Davey, how's it going? Hey, Kardik. I look super young. I don't look that young. It's probably good lighting. Can you see the wrinkles? I would say, can you see the sleepy eyes? But I've actually always had sleepy eyes since I was like a baby. Justine, it reminds you of Metal Zone. You said you stayed away because here in the East Coast. Oh, but you listened. Oh, yay. Well, I'm glad you liked Metal Zone. I guess, yeah, Saturday nights at 11 o'clock is pretty late for you on the East Coast, for sure. I don't blame you there. It's funny because now I can't go to bed early enough. This morning, I was like, even though I didn't do anything last night, I just was super tired because, well, I mean, I went to dinner last night, so it's not like I did anything crazy last night, but I did have several drinks. We had wine with dinner and then we had champagne with dessert. But yeah, I have all my body needs is like one night out and it like shifts my whole timing to where I can't sleep before midnight and I can't get up before 9. And I spend weeks trying to like train myself to go to bed by like 10 o'clock so that I can get up by 9 so that I can work a regular work day. And then today, 9 o'clock hit and I was like, okay, I'm getting up. And then I was like, just 1 second. And I was completely out cold for another hour plus. I don't know how it happens. But yeah. You know what, Kardik? I love being busy, but also I don't love being tired. But if I'm busy, I think the adrenaline kicks in for being busy. And it's not busy around here right now because everyone is gone on vacation for the holidays. And because half our office works from home a lot, and more soon, that it's just kind of a dead zone around here. So there's no interaction. And I think that the interaction with people kind of gives me the energy a little bit, you know? Ah, thanks. I don't need to be gorgeous though. I just need for people to stop judging women based on their armpit hair, because stop. Like this, it's just patently offensive. And I'm just shocked that it still happens, you know? Like, grow up, folks. Grow up. Grow up and grow some culture. Grow some hair, or don't grow hair, but don't care who does and doesn't. Because, like, there are people all around the world who don't care about armpit hair ever at all. Like, it's just not a factor or a question. So for American men to be like, ew, armpit hair, gross, it just makes us look as dumb as we are for having elected Trump a second time. Do better. Just like Melania says, be better. Although she doesn't have any body hair. I'll bet you she's grown it all back. Rodney, you've been around long enough that you're comfortable with you as you are, right? That's kind of where we should all be at this age. If you're not comfortable with you, you got some work to do. And you damn sure don't need to be projecting it onto anyone else. Dan, I think it's acceptable to tell people Happy New Year all the way up through the first time you see them of the new year, right? I mean, unless it's somebody that you see rarely, don't be telling people Happy New Year in June because you haven't seen them all year. But like, I think for the first time you see people all year, it makes sense to say Happy New Year. Like, I came in and today's the 2nd, but I haven't seen anybody at work since the 31st. So I said Happy New Year to everybody I saw. Tomorrow, there might be some different people over at KMBR when I go in to say hi. So I might say Happy New Year to them too. But you don't need to say Happy New Year to multiple people multiple times. And I think that about covers it. And then, you know, after about a week, maybe 2 weeks, people get tired of hearing it. Oh, Pamela's age. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Rodney. I was missing that. I had to Google it too. I knew she was pushing 60, but I didn't know how close, and I didn't want to, be off. Oh, I knew what you meant, Justine. I knew you stayed awake. That's why I was like, oh my God, that's so late for you. I mean, 11 o'clock here is what, 3 a.m. for you? Oh, girl, I hope you got a nap in. All you had was a glass of wine on New Year's Eve, Kartik? Yeah, I didn't have anything on New Year's Eve, but to be fair, I had a lot of tequila on the 30th, which really was my New Year's Eve because I went to Primus that night. And then I had wine and champagne last night. So New Year's Eve was the only day this week I didn't have drinks. Yes, I will say cheese a lot, Jacob, like often. You want to recommend Bay Area crafted Pacific cheese? Okay. Any particular Pacific cheese? Or do they make a line of cheeses, or do they make one or two? So I gave my sister the ski cheese, right? I gave her the Ski Queen cheese. But I found out that they have a goat version of the Ski Queen cheese, right? I thought I gave my sister the goat cheese version, but I didn't. When I got over there last night, I had given her the regular cow's milk version of the Ski Queen cheese. And so now I need to go back to Rainbow Grocery and get me that goat cheese so that I can try it. However, I do still have a refrigerator full of cheese for the holidays that I need to work my way through. So, hey, Carlton. Today's the last day I'll tell you Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Carlton. Tequila is strong stuff. I don't think it's strong per se. I think if you feel like, I feel like all the spirits are equally strong, except maybe vodka. I think the problem is that people don't know how to make tequila or drink tequila, and a lot of tequilas are cheap, so people mix those tequilas with a lot of sugary mixers, and when you mix it with sugary mixers, not only does the sugar give you a headache, but also it masks how strong or how much tequila you've put in there. So like if you were to drink tequila straight, vodka straight, gin straight, bourbon straight, you'd probably drink more bourbon because the bourbon is a sweeter liquor, and then maybe more vodka because the vodka has the least flavor, and then the gin has like a botanical flavor, so that would be next. And then it would depend on the tequila. If it's a good tequila, you might drink it faster because it's like a nice flavored sipping tequila, but the tequila has like its own distinct flavor, and the flavor is strong. I don't know. New water bottle? No, this is the old one. This is the old one, actually. I actually bought the new one because I had dropped this one so many times. It was all bumped up. And I found out that with these, if you don't have a bottle brush to clean them, it's hard to like clean all the way through. And since my dishwasher broke, I have been hand washing them. And so what I do now is I wash the tops and then I rotate them. So I let one sit out and dry out completely so there's no bacteria left in it. And then I'll use one for a couple of days, and then I'll swap it out for one that gets to sit for a couple of days till it dries out all the way. Anyway, so not new though. Amanda, let's see how happy a year it is before we celebrate the year. You know what, Amanda? We are most definitely in for a very troubled year. Did anybody hear that the Supreme Court struck down net neutrality? Yeah. So now your internet provider can decide how fast or slow they provide you internet based on any arbitrary thing they choose to. So yeah, that's fucked. We lost that. Yeah. We just Amanda, when bad things happen at a macro level, we just have to go micro, you know. We can still make the best of the year even when bad things happen. Christian, what is the best gift that I have ever gotten? Oh my God, I don't know. That is tough. Ever? Like in my whole life? I mean, I have been gifted a lot of things over the 52 years I've been alive. One of my favorite gifts is a Slinky. I used to get a Slinky every year when I was a kid, and I eventually would break it at some point, and then I would get another one for Christmas, and that would be my favorite thing. I don't know. Hard to say. I mean, I really tell people not to give me gifts. I'm like, please, I don't need anything. Don't give me anything. I have too much stuff. But as I was saying earlier, my sister and her wife got me these earrings that are made of snake vertebrae, which I kind of love. And they got me a giant, and I mean like 11 different things from this company Lush that makes like bath products. And so they got me like a bunch of like bath bombs and like bubble bars and soaps and stuff that were like super cute. And I haven't taken a picture of it yet. I'll have to take a picture of it and post it. But I have a ginormous bathtub. And so that is extra awesome this year that I got. I don't know. I'm terrible at like fill in the blank of my favorite thing because I'll say something that just comes to mind and then later on I'll be like, "Oh my god, why didn't I say this or that or whatever?" I do know that the worst thing I ever got was my parents gave me a toilet seat for Christmas. That was the worst gift I ever got. I have received many, many thoughtful and amazing gifts over the years, but nothing is just coming to mind as like a favorite, if that makes any sense. Jacob, blue cheese is my least favorite cheese, but cheese is all mold. So as long as it's not the bad mold, you're fine. And if it is the bad mold, then I just cut it off and eat what's inside. You like mezcal, Dan? Mezcal's a little smoky for me. I'm not against it, but I got to be in the mood for it. I'm not a smoky fan, which Kartik goes to your point about scotch. Like Oban or something that smoky. Too much like drinking a campfire. Not my jam. But I do love a good scotch and I do love a good tequila. Rodney, somebody. Oh, hold on. Just realized I heard this song I got to talk out of. 107.7 The Bone with the Black Crows and Twice as Hard. I'm Nikki Blakk, and I have a podcast with former Black Crows drummer Steve Gorman. Steve Gorman rocks tonight at 7 o'clock. He and I call our podcast The Black Room, and we are getting ready to start up season 3 of The Black Room. I can't believe it's been happening this long now. Have you been missing it? It's easy to find. Get it anywhere you get your podcast. Just title search The Black Room and look for the blue logo. That one's ours. Or you find it the easy way at 1077thebone.com or on our YouTube pages, because now we're doing a video podcast as well. Oh, God, where am I time-wise? So far behind. Okay, that puts us in on time, but not with that. Or that. Or that. All right, I guess there we go. That one makes sense. Yeah, okay. Sorry, work stuff. Cornette, hi. What do you mean I have good eyes? Like I can see well? Because I don't. I got LASIK with Dr. Bindi back in 2006. Oh, dude, the charcuterie board is amazing. Oh, God. Well, ever since somebody came out with charcuterie, I don't think anybody's gotten a better one than that. Amanda, you can't handle the taste, but you quit drinking alcohol? Yeah, it's fine. You know? Yeah, you know what's funny is I used to smoke a lot of weed until I realized I really could not handle the weed at all. I am terrible, terrible, terrible stoner. And in fact, my ex-husband used to be a super stoner, so he and I would walk over to our friend / weed dealer's house on the regular, and and he and we would all just be hanging out, right? We go over there, they'd wake and bake, I'd have coffee, and then we go over there at night, watch cartoons, and then I would get high because it was nighttime and it didn't matter, right? Because I didn't have to go to work or anything. So, but what would happen is I would get high and I would just be like baked in front of the cartoons. And his girlfriend worked at Godiva Chocolates at the time, and she would get like all the throwaways, which would be like whole trays of Godiva chocolates. And I would just sit there just shoveling food into my face the whole time. So I am a terrible stoner. Even like the teensiest little hit will get me so high that I am just catatonic and shoveling food into my face. So, I mean, everybody reacts differently to everything. So I would never, if somebody doesn't like to drink, but they like to smoke, cool. I'm somebody who likes to drink, but doesn't really like to smoke. It's fine. My house is falling apart. No, Justine. What happened was I had a power issue, and the power issue affected the large appliances. The power issue turned out to be needing an upgrade in the panel. So my panel could handle a certain number of amps, and what I didn't realize was at certain times I was going over that amperage, and I think the culprit was when I turned on the heater or the air conditioner. And that unit, that big HVAC unit on top of my roof was like adding just a little too heavy a load of amperage to deal with everything else that was already on the power grid at my house. So what happened was it had caused a cycling effect where the power would go off and then on and off and on and off and on and on. But I was rarely home when it happened. So I didn't really notice it until it blew up my refrigerator. It blew out a circuit board on my refrigerator. And we think that it probably did the same thing with the dishwasher because they both stopped working around the same time. And I had the refrigerator fixed, but then the power problem happened again because we thought we had fixed it by replacing the circuit because the circuit was bad. The circuit was like arcing and stuff. It was crazy. So we replaced the circuit, but it turned out not to just be the circuit. It turned out to be the circuit, and the circuits were old. So we thought replacing the circuits would do it. Wasn't just the circuits, also was the and I don't know if you noticed, but like everyone is upgrading their electrical panel on houses. Whenever they sell a house, you have to upgrade the electrical panel. It's like a whole thing. They're trying to upgrade all of California anyway because they're hoping everybody will convert to like electric cars and etc. So now I just have to get the permits and the electrician and PG&E all on the same page to cut off my power so that the electrician can upgrade my panel. And then I will feel comfortable buying a new refrigerator and a new dishwasher. But until then, I don't want to risk blowing the sensitive circuit boards that they now have on everybody on today's smart appliances, because those boards are like fucking practically $1,000 to replace. I remember the guy telling me it was like this. I think it was something like a $700 part plus labor. So it cost me like about $1,000 to fix the fridge. And I was like, well, I'm not spending $1,000 to fix if it's the same thing that happened to the dishwasher. So I'm like, I'll just get new ones later. I can wash dishes by hand until I don't need to. And now I live out of my wine fridge. And I have no freezer. All my stuff that was in the freezer is at my mom's house. Every once in a while, I'll have my sister bring me a pound of chicken or something. Who didn't love Slinkies, man? They were the best. They still are. Oh, yeah, Lush. They make great products. They're stupid expensive, but they're so good. Not a fan of blue cheese either, dude. Not even a little bit. I don't know about a blessed life, Amanda, but I've definitely lived my life my way whenever I could, which lends itself to me being happy about the majority of the outcomes. Dan, you got a piece of bismuth? I don't know what that means. Steve is great. Steve and I have a blast doing the podcast. Hi, Steve. My YouTube channel is about I don't know if it's about anything. It's just mine. So this is me live, and the majority of what I do in the live stream is hang out and talk to you guys while I am also on the radio. See? Radio. And then the rest of the channel is a lot of interviews that I do. So mostly metal, because that's mostly what I'm into, and where most of my friends are. So if you flip around my channel, you will find a lot of live streams like this. You'll find a lot of podcasts with my podcast partner, Steve Gorman. He and I talking about things. And you'll find a lot of interviews with me and people in metal. If that interests you, welcome. And if it doesn't, welcome. Jacob, not only do I have good eyes, I have an awesome physique. No, I don't. I do not bike ride. I have a bike that I need to have tuned up before I can ride it because it's been sitting for years. I basically haven't ridden that bike since practically college. Has it been sitting for decades? It might have been sitting for decades. No, I've ridden it since college, but probably definitely not for maybe 10 years. It definitely needs new tires and stuffs. You thought I was more muscular? No, I'm not a muscular person. Hi, Ricky. What's up? Oh, thanks, Justine. Yeah, it's complicated. You want to hear about... Oh, Ricky, you're talking about the Metallica 30th anniversaries. Yes, you're talking about... Okay, I know what you're talking about. Donnie, you heard I was on the sex offender registry? No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, PG&E is a hassle, Justine. They really are. Aaron Brockovich. Well, Aaron Brockovich got PG&E for pollution. I just have PG&E as my electrical provider, and they, to be fair, PG&E said that they could do a power shutoff as soon as December 22nd, but the contractor that I have is not available until January. So but I also need to submit a bunch of questionnaire. I have a questionnaire that I have to submit to PG&E with a bunch of questions on it that I'm not 100% sure the answers. So I need to sit down with my contractor and go over them. And I haven't done that yet. So bismuth is a pharmaceutical. What? Dan, I don't know what the hell you're talking about with that at all. Cardiac random question. Am I of Mexican heritage? Nope. But I used to get so tan that my mom would get mad at me because she'd be like, people are not going to think you're my daughter. They're going to think you belong to a Mexican family down the street. And that was hilarious because I really did get like super, super tan, which is crazy because how white am I now, right? Oh shit. Whoops. Let's do this. Okay. Hang on, I got to do work. Why is that not on? Come here. Reload that page. There we go. So, nope, there's nothing there. Huh. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, I hate when the internet is not giving me the answers I want it to. It's like it thinks it knows what I want and then it doesn't. Okay, there we go. And again. It's the Bay Area's own Green Day on the Rock of the Bay. I'm Nikki Blakk, and we are just barely a month away from the Grammys on February 4th, where Green Day is nominated for 3 different Grammy Awards. How many do you think they'll bring home? One more second. I'm going to knock this one out so I can focus. It's the Edgar Winter Group with Free Ride on 107.7 The Bone. I'm Nikki Blakk, and nothing's for free. This hour is sponsored by UA Local 38 Plumbers and Pipefitters Union in San Francisco, Marin, Sonoma, Mendocino, and Lake counties. Learn more at ualocal38.org. Oh, God, really? All right, hold on. All right, that's better. 30, 40, 15. Jesus. Sorry, I'm looking at these really short commercial breaks, and, I need to straddle that quarter hour, and it's not working right. Huh. Okay, I got time for that. No, that's not going to work. Oh, let's do this one. No, that's too much. running out of songs. All right, let's see. I'm gonna have to use this one. All right, there you go. How's that? Perfect. Ha! Just took a little effort. Sorry, guys. All right. And then that comes in at right on time. Okay. Where was I? I was talking about the Merciful Fate night. Okay. So, I do have to clean this up. Hold on. Okay, that can go there. That should definitely go. Nope. Come on. There. Okay. Ah, there you go. Beautiful. Jesus, though, still super close. All right. Well, that's going to have to be that. Okay. Oh, look, somebody's like bombing the live stream with some weird shit. Weirdos. Okay, Ricky, you wanted to hear about the evening with Merciful Fate. So, it was Metallica's 30th anniversary at the Fillmore, and the whole week was maniacal, right? We had no idea what to expect. We just knew that Metallica was doing it at the Fillmore, and the tickets were cheap, and it was really hard to get into because it's Metallica and it's the Fillmore and it's special shows. And we found out on the first night that they were having. We knew that they had different openers each night, but we didn't know that they were having different guests each night. And we found out on the first night that there was like a selection of A-list guests, and we were all like, whoa. And then on the second night, no one thought Merciful Fate was going to turn up, because if you'll remember, this was like 2011. Merciful Fate was not even on the radar. King Diamond had had his heart attack maybe like, I don't know, a year or two earlier. Does anybody remember when King Diamond's heart attack was? It was like 2010, I think, 2009 or something like that. So the last thing anyone expected was to see King Diamond and Merciful Fate all together on one stage with Metallica for their anniversaries at the Fillmore. But that's what happened. And it was crazy because I was up in the balcony with all the like rock star guests, and it doesn't matter because you could have heard a pin drop. I mean, the biggest rock stars in the house that night were still just like, just dropped, just jaw dropping, drooling. Like for the whole first minute they were on stage, you could have heard a pin drop because people just did not believe their eyes. And then after the show, there was like an after show party of course. And so we're all hanging out, and the Fake guys are hanging out, and King Diamond's hanging out, and Metallica's hanging out. I think James left early, but everybody else was just hanging out. It was just like, and then the Fillmore, because I worked there, the staff were like, we still have 2 more nights of this, and we all want to go home. The next night was a day off, and it had been a lot of work to put these shows together for everybody involved, everybody at Metallica HQ, everybody at the Fillmore. And there were just so many moving parts, and there were just so many things that everybody wanted to have perfect because, how often does Metallica have a 30th anniversary? And nobody thought that they would live that long. None of us thought we'd live that long. And so we wanted to keep the party going. So a very good friend of mine who is also friends with the band said, we can take them to my bar. And I was like, okay, let me float this idea. So So we floated the idea through the Metallica HQ people down to make it look like it was just something that was going to have to happen. And so we went to my friend's bar. Technically, it was illegal because it was after hours, but technically it was legal because we didn't open the doors to the public. And I don't think any money exchanged hands, or if money exchanged hands, it was like, basically we went speakeasy. So that's why I'm like omitting names to protect the guilty. But yeah, so we just took everybody over to a bar on Haight Street that my friend owned, and we hung out all night with them. And I was talking to Hank Sherman, and I asked him if I could take a photo, and he said yes. And then I introduced myself, and he was like, "Oh, no, I know you." And I was like, "No, you don't." I go, I'm 100% sure we've never met. And he's like, "Well, no, but I know who you are because I've listened to your show." And I was like, bullshit. But he's like, no, it comes on in the mornings, because back then the Metal Zone was on Friday nights. And he goes, "It comes on Saturday mornings for us." And I would listen to it sometimes. And I was like, "Oh, no. What? Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously right now?" But yeah. And so there's a couple of different pictures of me with him. And in one of them, I'm like, you can see me just like fangirling out because he just said he'd listened to my show, and I was freaking out. But ultimately, we actually just had a really fun night where everybody was just kind of like hanging out and partying and drinking way too much champagne. But I'm pretty sure Lars was buying the champagne. So thank you, Lars. And next thing you know, everybody was like, "Oh, we should get out of here. It's getting late." And somebody, like, I don't know if they opened the door or somebody went out to smoke or whatever, but they were like, "Yeah, the sun's up." And we were like, "Shut up." And so we all walked out front. And like Lars and Kirk, I think, were the last two people from Metallica that were still there. And they had finally cut out. And the Merciful Fate guys hung out a little bit longer than that. And so that's how we ended up taking that photo out front, because we had to hail cabs because I don't think rideshare was very prevalent back then. Or maybe we called them an Uber. I don't remember. But like the Merciful Fate guys didn't have the app on their phones. So we had them out front. We took a picture out in front of the bar, which we immediately started calling Merciful Hate because it was on Haight Street. And the whole band was still there except for King, who, the heart attack, he went home early. And yeah, we put them all in cabs or cars or whatever. And then I had been parked out front. So I had to get in my car and drive all the way back to the East Bay. In commute traffic, no less, right? I mean, I'm still there in like club clothes from being up all night. And next thing you know, I'm hopping in my car and getting on the bridge in traffic at 6 o'clock in the morning. But it was amazing. It was kind of awesome. Everybody just was like so chill and so fun. We had a great time. Let's see, where were we? Hi, Jim. Happy New Year. Cheers to success in 25. Cross your fingers, bro. Oh, thank you, Justine. You like the interviews? Appreciate that. Hey, Steve, you were just coming through random YouTube channels before you watch X Hamster. I don't know what that is, dude. But yeah, cheers, man. Welcome. Stop by often. Stop by never. Choice is yours. No pressure. I'm not the like and subscribe person. Although, I'll tell you what, I might have to become the like and subscribe person. This seems to be where the universe is going. Oh, look, Danny's still trying. You don't know what I heard. I do know what you heard, Danny, because you said you heard I was on the sex, spelled SECKS, offender registry, which is how I know it's bullshit. Oh, look, Donnie also has Joanne. Cool. Super creepy. No, Kevin, I'm not Italian. Not even a little bit. Creepy. You know what's funny? Whoever is pretending to be Joanne. I don't have a half brother to have been caught having sex, SECKS, with. Is this like a foreign hack? Am I being hacked by like Russians or something? No, Kardik, I'm not Italian. I don't know where that rumor started, but nope, not even a little bit. Weren't you guys here when I busted out my actual ancestry DNA results? I'm like 99% UK. I have a little bit of Bohemian. So there's a little teensy bit. But yeah. No, mostly UK, bro. I am not an Irish twin, Kevin. I have one full brother, and he is 2.5 years younger. Dan, it's a metal that if you melt it and cools, it forms shapes and designs. Dan, what does that got to do with anything? Bismuth is the generic for Pepto-Bismol. Oh, that's that. Like if you can heat Pepto and it gets like, why are we having Mythbusters on my live stream? Oh, look, how many profiles does this troll have? Bronson Prospecting? That's weird. So for you guys on Facebook, you can't see this, but there's somebody on YouTube who's like trying to troll the live stream with some really pathetic accusations. Kevin, what is my ethnic background? Not that it matters. Do I have time? Yeah, I do. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, and I think I just have one of those faces and one of those noses that people mistake for Mediterranean. I've been mistaken for Jewish. I've been mistaken for Russian. But it turns out, nope, none of it turned up in the DNA. Oh, come on, where's the DNA? I usually have it just sitting here on my phone in my web pages in my browser board, but apparently I have like a massive amount of pages that I have not deleted from my browser, probably because every time I go through my email, I unsubscribe to all of the spam that I get, and every time I unsubscribe to spam, it opens a new tab. And oh my god, I have 155 tabs. Oh yeah, I've got to go through this and get rid of some of these things. All right, ancestry.com. Yeah, DNA origins, blah blah blah. There's my DNA. Okay, well, this isn't the DNA. This is the ancestral journeys. So here are my American ancestral journeys because my family on both sides goes back to the Revolution. It seems like both sides of the family immigrated here like around the 1700s, early 1700s for like the vast majority. I don't have any Mayflower people that I'm aware of, but yeah. So you can see, this is my mom's family. This is my dad's family. How did they meet? They met in Paris. Weird, right? They were in college. They were both at the same college in Paris. Okay, where's the DNA part? Come on. Summary? Is it under summary? There we go. Okay. Ooh, who is trying to call me? Hello? Hello? Are you calling from PG&E to offer me the PG&E thing that I've already told you guys I don't want? Okay. Oh, definitely not. Yeah, no, thanks. I've got a guy.
for future reference. As we are offering a state-funded rebate program, where it could cover part of the cost of the home upgrade, as well as
No, I mean, I literally just upgraded everything. I had a flooding incident. The whole house has been upgraded and it's, yeah, nope. And I got a guy. So don't worry. Take care. Bye. I answer solicitors because sometimes it gets them to take you off their list. Okay. So let's see. Is this the whole? Yep. All right. There's the DNA for you, folks. So 30% England, Northwestern Europe, 28% Scotland, 25% Germanic. That's on my mom's side. And then the other German and the Scottish are on my mom and my dad's side. It turns out they both have a lot. That 5% French is hanky. We don't have any proof of any French. And then the little bit of Wales, a little bit of Welsh. The Swedish that keeps showing up Swedish now is supposed to be Dutch. The guy was a Dutch national. We have him in the not the rolls. What would you call it? We have him on record. So we have that one ancestor, and he's Dutch. And then Central and Eastern Europe, that's the Bohemian, that 1% down there. And that is my mom's grandmother's grandfather. He came over from Bohemia. And then we have this one guy who married into the family, I mean, like centuries ago. And he was Dutch. So that's what that Sweden is. And so, you know, he was Dutch citizenship, but maybe he was Swedish by DNA. But yep, that's me. The vast majority, let's see, is so basically 60% UK, which is funny because before the Germanic part was not showing up and it was showing up as like 90% UK. So now it looks like they've expanded the sample set and it's coming out with the Germanic, which tracks with what we have on paper. Let's see. I mentioned I got LASIK. Yes, Justine. What is the procedure? The LASIK I got was a corneal flap procedure. So what they do is they cut the corneal flap on your eyeball and peel it back. They peel it back with a laser and then they laser the cornea underneath and then they put that corneal flap back over it and then it heals and you have like perfect vision. So I have perfect vision for from 2006 until like, I don't know, a year or two ago. And then my close-up vision started to go because what happens is my cornea is still good, but the lens gets lazy and rigid as you get older. And as the lens gets rigid, it fails to focus when you move up close, far away, up close, far away. It focuses slower. So there's a new procedure called I think it's called lens replacement therapy. Steve Gorman's gotten it. He's talked about it in our podcast before. And it's the thing that like airline pilots are getting now because you have to have perfect vision as a pilot, obs. And so the airline pilots are getting this corneal replacement because it gives you perfect vision because the lens has been replaced. So the problem I'm having is I have rigid lenses now and they're not able to change the focus from far away to up close. But if I were to get a new lens, then that lens would be pliant and able to focus. Oh God, who's Bronson? Wait, did we already out the Bronson? Wow. Look at these troll accounts. I'm weirdly flattered that somebody has like a handful of accounts that they've bothered to troll my live stream with. Kudos, brother. If you wanted to troll me for something though, sexual deviant is probably not the one you want to go. And you should probably spell sex correctly. Like that's just weird. I know, right, Dan? It's weird. Justine, you saw the broadcast of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Jack Black inducting Ozzy? Yeah. You know what? Ozzy actually, I found out later, sang in rehearsals for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. And sorry, I got to keep an eye on the timing here. Okay. Ozzy actually sang the rehearsals for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. But obviously he didn't perform. But I think that's because the Rock Hall wanted to have more of a crossover between younger and older artists, because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is like desperate for relevance and fans and financial sustenance. And they were stupid and put their Hall of Fame in fucking Cleveland, where no one wants to go on vacation. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, Ozzy can still sound great. I mean, he's always had off nights and good nights, but because he's not singing, he hasn't toured in years now. So I think his voice is probably in the best shape it's ever been in, as long as he's kept like exercising it without overworking it. Because the big problem that we had before with Ozzy was that he would go on tour and overwork his voice. There's like a famous Ozzy on the treadmill complaining to Sharon about how she can only book so many shows because he's got to have a day to rest his voice after so many shows, because he needed to rest his voice. Oh, wow. Is anybody else on YouTube seeing this troll account just really work hard at sucking? God. Does this work? Do people go, oh my God, a hermaphrodite? What's that? Ah. Oh, speaking of bad English accents, the telemarketer that called me was exactly the same telemarketer that's been calling me to try and get me to do their PG&E rebated upgrades. But this was basically the same thing. But then she was like, oh no, we're calling from a contractor with funded upgrades or whatever. But it was a terrible, terrible, terrible English accent. Oh my God. But you know what? Kudos to a telemarketer for trying to hook that. Oh yeah, Ricky, I tell you what, it was a hell of a night, man. Like, I wish I could remember more from it. I'm just glad I have the photos. I'm glad I brought my camera. I had a camera back then instead of just the phone. Although I do wish that we have more photos, because it was very cool. Wow, dude. Call me a pedo. Go ahead. Go nuts. That is so weird. Kardik, you're a fan of both Metallica and Merciful Fate? You and me both, brother. I house communes of pedo men. Sure I do. Ah. Wait, you guys, though, check it out. The troll is spelling pedo Peadough. This is like a worst troll ever, dude. And he's got another profile now. It's like an endless like cycle of profiles. Hey Amanda, you can't see him because it's some kind of weird troll person on my YouTube page using like a bunch of accounts to say weird stuff like that I'm on the sex offender registry and that I'm a pedo and that I got caught having sex with a half brother I don't have. So weird. Yeah, it was like all don't quote me on original Merciful Fate versus not original. I don't know if they'd replaced anybody by then. I don't think so. I think it was all original, but that was not my main concern, because I just was like, oh, King Diamond is back with Merciful Fate. What the hell? Because King Diamond in Merciful Fate hadn't happened forever. Oh, they can spell tweaker right. They're saying I itched the back of my hands, which is a tweaker trait. Okay. God, I'm starting to get bored with this troll. It's not really very entertaining or believable. Oh, well. Amanda, you lived 20 years past your expected expiration date. Oh, yeah. You know, I planned poorly for my retirement because I did kind of think I'd be dead by 50. But here I am trying to figure out how to make it to 70. I think 70 is good. I don't think I'm going to want to go past 70. Although, you know, if my back keeps hurting like this, I might not want to get past 60. Oh. Is Lars Ulrich really gay? No. He's super straight. Like super duper straight. No gay band has married that many women. You know what, Ricky? I really did lose it for a minute. Like for a hot minute, I was like, I had multiple like, oh shit moments where I needed to collect myself. But for the most part, I mean, I held it together. Thank you, alcohol. I mean, yeah, it was a pinch me moment after pinch me moment after pinch me after pinch me after. Oh my God, did that just happen? You know what, Ricky? As much as I wanted to give them a ride home, I was already going to have to get into traffic. I had already been drinking all night long. I was already desperate for coffee and needing to be as functional as I possibly could to drive home because going from Haight Street to my house in Concord was going to be a challenge at 6 o'clock in the morning between the traffic and the exhaustion and just like the hangover that was starting to peak. As much as I would love to have given Merciful Fate a ride, they were staying downtown. And for me to have to drive them all the way into downtown during morning commute and then get out of the downtown during morning commute to get onto the bridge to get out versus hopping onto the bridge at the Octavia entrance. Yeah. Plus, I just spent the whole night hanging out with them, right? Like, as cool as it would have been to be like, hey, hop in the back of my Honda. I'll take you. No. Survival was kicking in at that point. There are weird people, Kardik. Like, I don't understand the point to, like, trolling poorly. Like, if you're a troll, be proud of that shit. Be fucking funny. Come up with some weird ass like shit, some believable shit. Like, but whatever. Tom Green is one of them. Oh, a weird person. Well, he's Canadian, so. Oh, nice. You know what, Ricky? I didn't get to see Metallica when Cliff was still alive. I wanted to so bad. The Master of Puppets tour with Ozzy, Metallica opening for Ozzy. So, a bunch of my friends went to that in junior high, and there was no way my parents were going to let me go to anything in junior high. So I could not get to anything. I didn't get to go to shows until I was 14. And even then it was like I had to beg for each one. So my first Metallica show was 88. I just turned 16. But I did get to see him twice in a row. I saw him at Cow Palace, and then we went backstage and met them. And it turned out that my friend that I was there with, that I went to high school with, her babysitter was dating James. So we ended up hanging out with them all night. Her old babysitter, obviously. We were in high school by then. But yeah, so she goes backstage and she runs into this chick, Kristen, who used to babysit her when she was like 10. And we all just hung out and had a great time. And then they were like, you should come back tomorrow night. And we were like, yeah, we should. And they were like, we'll put you on the list. Come to Arco. And we were like, okay. And then it was like an act of gods to get my mom to let me go. Like, it was already an act of God's to get her to let me go that night because it was a school night. But then to let me go back the next night after I was like, blinkety blink, because we got home in the wee hours, you know? Yeah, we got home in the wee hours of the morning. And it's 1988 and I'm 16 and we had to go to high school. And I was just like all bleary eyed and like Wayne's Worlding my backstage passes to everybody and my autographs and just being like, look, we met Metallica. And we're going back tonight. And then I think I got home from school because that was the thing. I had to go to school all day because I used to cut class a lot. So the agreement was I would go to school all day if I was allowed to go to Metallica. And then I had to beg at breakfast that morning to be allowed to go to Metallica the next night. And then after I got home from school, I don't know how I talked her into it, but I did. And I was like, I will definitely go to school again tomorrow. I promise. All day tomorrow. That was the time Queensryche tried to kidnap me. That's another story. I'll tell that later. But yeah, that was my first Metallica show. I don't think Merciful Fate trumps Metallica. I think they're just two very different bands. I love them both. Dan, I don't think the word gypsy is. I think the word gypsy is problematic now. I think the proper term is Romany. And I don't believe, and it's possible. I don't know actually. I know that he's Bohemian. And I have his name, and I know that he came over. We have the year that he came over. I could look it up, but we don't know. We don't know if he was Romani or just Czech or whatever. But because I think the basic area of what was the Bohemian Empire Bohemian Republic, whatever it was. I think that that turned into the Czech Republic, but we don't know if he was of Romanic descent. We just know that he was Bohemian. Does that make sense? I'm 50% rock, 50% metal. I like a lot of things, but my favorites are rock and metal. A nose job? Now the trolls think I had a nose job. Tell you what, if I'd had a nose job, I wouldn't still have this deviated septum. But God, troll better. Be interesting if you're gonna troll my page, my live stream. I gotta cut out here pretty soon too. I just realized it's 6:30. Yes, positive vibes to Mickey D. Oh my gosh, recovering from sepsis. Sepsis killed my stepfather. Sepsis is no joke. Sepsis almost killed a very good friend of mine. She was in the hospital for weeks. I remember visiting her in the ICU, and it was so scary. And it took her months to like recover fully from the whole issue. Sepsis is no joke. And Mickey D had sepsis and was in the hospital for weeks around the Christmas holiday. And he still is, I said he was recovering from sepsis, but I believe he is still fighting the infection because that's what he said. I'm still fighting the bacteria. So I think they just were able, he was stabilized enough to be at home, but I believe he's still on probably a cocktail of antibiotics to beat the infection, which brings its own side effects and problems with it. So, oh, Dan, you've got Mayflower people. You should join the club. There's a Mayflower club. I'm in my family's in the Daughters of the American Revolution Club. I've never wanted to join the club on the local level because I kind of looked them up and was like, you guys look really creepy, boring. Not creepy, but they just look boring. It just looked like a place to pay dues and not get anything out of it. So I was like, yes, Jacob, I have 155 tabs open on my Safari browser on my phone, apparently. I didn't realize that. I don't read all of them. It just keeps opening new ones, and I need to go back through and just delete a bunch of them. Am I a nice person, Kardik? I mean, sometimes not. The DNA of a mutt. Now the troll is saying I have mutt DNA, which is obvious. I'm American. Duh. Bohemian harlot. Well, considering it was a dude that came over with the Bohemian ancestry, try again. God, troll better, dude. I mean, I appreciate that you're trolling more personally now that you're like at least paying attention, but throw some humor in there. Get us something interesting. At least you spelled Bohemian right, which leads me to believe you're probably a Russian bot. Like, who could spell Bohemian correctly but can't spell sex? Russians. Hey, Justin, it is pretty cold here. It's 90 degrees in the Philippines. Oh no, sir, no. You keep that. You keep that over there. I will say though that Justin, the vast majority of the spam calls I've been getting spam texted like all through the holidays. You know, all those bullshit spam texts that are like, we need you to pay your fast track account or whatever it is. They're all coming from the Philippines. They're all coming from the 63 country code, which is the Philippines. It doesn't mean it's necessarily Filipino people. It could just be somebody routing their call center through the Philippines, but still. I just noticed that. Hi, Greg. How you doing? Hell yeah, Mickey D is awesome. Oh, Greg. Aw. Greg, you're joining the troll band, and it's like, but with the same tired like pedo thing, and you're spelling pedo wrong. Oh, well, whatever. Hey, Kayvon. Did I go to the second night of Primus at the Fox? I did not. And I'll tell you why. Because as much as I love Les Claypool and I love Primus, they only played like 6 or 8 Primus songs the first night. And there was like a whole lengthy Frog Brigade, Holy Mackerel thing happening for the whole first majority of the night. I don't know if they did that again on the second night, but I'll be honest, I was not going out to take the chance. So I'm sure it was great. I'm sure it was, but it was not for me. I'm still coming off the high of like that killer Primus set that they played when they opened for Slayer. And I was expecting to get like a full Primus set, not like a Less Than Friends, but it was very much Less Than Friends. It's not a jam. He was cute singing with Crazy Train. Aw, you're right, Justine. I don't even block the trolls, honestly. Let them troll on. I mean, sadly, they kind of out-troll themselves with their sad trolling. Like the trolling that they have is just really pathetic. So even if it were to have some kind of effect, I think the effect it's having is like, oh, sad trolls. Is pity. Like I pity the trollers because they're not very good at trolling, and I'll let them just troll themselves till they get tired. Good to see you, Justine. Oh, is Tylenol the thing for wrist issues? I would think it would be like a ibuprofen. That's what I would say. But ice is your friend as someone with wrist issues. Good night, Justine. It's good to see you. I'll try. Tomorrow's Friday, so I might have too much weekend stuff to do tomorrow. But if I have time, I'll tap in. You know what, Rodney? I hope it's not someone I know, because if it is, I would expect them to be funnier, you know? But oh well. You like their names, Dan? Yeah, honestly, the names that they came up with are the funniest part about their trolling. Their trolling has just been really mediocre. Troll better, boys. And I say boys because obviously it's not girls. Hey, Aaron. I'm good. How are you doing? It was all original fit. Yeah. Okay. So except for one person, that's what I vaguely remembered, was that it wasn't entirely original, but I couldn't remember the who's and the what's, and I wasn't going to get into that because that information is not coming off the top of my head accurately. And so I would rather not present it. Wait, did you just ask me again if I went to the second night of the Fox, or was that somebody else that asked me if I went to the second night? I feel like I just explained that. So hopefully you caught it. But if not, no, I didn't, because it was basically Less Than Friends, and I wanted to see like all Primus. Lars's wife, Jessica. Yeah, Jessica's a model. I mean, so obviously. She's also very sweet. You know what's funny is Jessica follows me on Instagram. We follow each other on Instagram. And I was always like, does Jessica know she's liking my stuff? Because I was all like, I was like, we've kind of met and we've kind of been around each other, but we've never really like known each other. But then I ran into her in the snake pit at Seattle, I think it was. Yeah, Seattle, not Phoenix. And I was all, hey, and she's like, oh my God, hey. And we like hugged, and she goes, wait, is this the first time we're seeing each other in real life? And I was like, I think so, except for like that one time at the Fillmore. And she was like, oh my God. And yeah, so then that's how I knew she was following me on purpose. And I was like, your campaign for Chloe was amazing. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. And we had like a girl moment. So yeah, that's how we know. Speaking of Lars, ein Minuten bitte. I'm going to talk about you guys on the radio. It's the Bay Area's own Metallica on the Rock of the Bay. I'm Nikki Blakk on the live stream telling stories about Metallica's 30th anniversary shows at the Fillmore when Merciful Fate played and we hung out until dawn at an undisclosed location where we drank way too much. And then I had to drive home in commute traffic, which was awkward. But the Bay Area's own Metallica getting ready to finally bring the stadium show here where it belongs, where it originated technically. Metallica's 40th anniversary shows were 2 nights, no repeat over the weekend, and that was the template for the stadium tour that they're doing. So 2 nights, no repeats, June 20th, June 22nd at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Okay, where were we? Aw, you know what though? If Lars was gay, no one would care. Because who gives a shit if somebody's gay or not? God. See, this is how you know that they're like lame trolls. Because if they were tech savvy trolls, they wouldn't be going after people for stuff like pedo and queer and whatever else dumb shit that is. Oh. Yeah. Oh no, you think you've ruined something for us? No, you've actually just ruined your own trolling with trolling that is really sad. Favorite Metallica song? Oh, that is tough. I mean, probably. Hi,
Hey,
how are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What'd you do? Anything fun?
Yeah,
Yeah? Did you hang out with the family?
yeah, but everybody was sick.
Oh no, everybody was. It wasn't that flu that's going around, is it?
Yes,
Oh,
everybody.
oh, it's terrible. A
And
friend of
myself,
mine
yesterday is in the bed all
with
day,
the fevers and the
and vomiting and
yeah.
horrible. Everybody in my house.
Everybody but you.
Me too.
You got sick too? Woo!
Yeah.
Get over there.
No, but just for one day.
One day.
Yeah, yesterday.
I have a friend that had it for 3 weeks.
My
She's still not
family
feeling great.
3 days on myself just yesterday, and today I'm okay.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but terrible. I don't know. They say it's a virus.
Yeah.
They call, I don't know how they call it, but they provoke from the food.
Oh, it was like
We
food
went
poisoning.
to the party and we think that that's the food because we call the person that
Oh.
the host.
So it wasn't the flu, it was food
Yeah.
poisoning.
We call the host, the lady who invite us.
Mhm.
They say all her family was sick too.
Everyone was sick.
A lot of people, friends, they get sick too.
Yeah.
So he said, okay, I think we're going to put a complaint to the people who bring the
Who
food.
catered? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
They say, well,
food poisoning is safer than the flu at
Yeah.
least. The flu that's going around is really bad. People are having it for weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really high fevers. So, bummer though.
No, was okay, but now,
Yeah.
but yesterday I feel very weak.
Mhm. I feel that way anyway.
Yeah.
I'm always tired.
No, I'm fine, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So
the good news is tomorrow's Friday.
yes.
I'll see you
One more
tomorrow.
day.
One more day.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers. Sorry. I like when he comes in to visit because it's so quiet around here. There's never anybody around. Let's see. Oh, you know what, Kartik? I guess if I had to pick, like off the top of my head, it would be Master of Puppets. But then my second choice is usually Trapped Under Ice. But then I'll start listening to other songs and be like, oh, I need to hear this one now. So it varies, honestly. I'm terrible at picking a favorite of something. You know, I'll have like a sample set of favorites. Happy Thursday, Christopher. Cheers. Your first rock show was May 82. You were about to be 10. Lucky you. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were going home. I have a gypsy nose. Yeah, whatever the fuck that means. Yeah, I met Metallica on the Injustice for All tour. December 88. I remember I just turned 16 in November, so you turned 15 that year? Good. Can penicillin kill sepsis? Oh, sepsis is no. The short answer, no. I believe sepsis requires a much stronger antibiotic and sometimes a combination of strong antibiotics. Why do I have to know that? Google it. Hey, Terry. Happy rockin' New Year. That's adorable. Could I boot the troll? I mean, I suppose if I wanted to take the trouble to find it, but I'm actually just curious, like, what's the trolling about? Whatever, dude. No, Jacob, sepsis isn't drained by a tube. Sepsis is an infection. It's something that your body has to fight off. No, Mickey's on probably an antibiotic cocktail right now. Your wife met Metallica on the Justice tour. Second leg with the Cult. Oh, this was the Queensryche leg. I don't know if that was the first or the second or third. I don't know. How long did they tour on that album for? We will never grow tired. This isn't about comedy. This is some quality trolling. Like, all right, cool, dude. Like, whatever. Ricky, I'm not completely responsible for you and your wife getting married on stage in the Monsters of Rock cruise, but if I had a hand in it, I am thrilled. Congratulations. I've been in weddings. Was I in your wedding? Was I in your wedding or at your wedding? I was in Chips Enough's wedding. I feel like there was another one I was in, but I can't remember now off the top of my head. There's been some crazy shit at the Monsters of Rock cruise. Yeah, you got to go, Kevin. I got to go. We all got to go. I'm tired. Slope, this is your treat. Work moved you from the Bay Area to Michigan. Oh, no. In 2010? You must be so cold right now in Michigan. Don't let them tell you about the Hand. That's Michigan, right? The Hand people. Where on the Hand do you live? It's weird, Michigan people. But the Bay is here for you whenever you need it. Feel free to ask me questions. I could tell you what burrito joints are still open. If you haven't heard, Toulon has been closed again by the health department. We are hoping that they get to reopen because I don't care. I've never seen a rat in that place, and I have eaten there a million times. Hi, Jay. Happy New Year. Blah, blah, blah. Troll. Repetitive troll too. Like, God, you got 17 profiles. They're all saying the same thing. It's just not good. I was not at Day on the Green in 1985 because in 1985, I was 12. I wasn't allowed to go to concerts until the end of 1986 when I was 14. But that Day on the Green was in the summer and I was still 12. Sad face, I know. Yeah, right. Trapped Under Ice is bomb. Have we reached the bottom of the? Oh, we have reached the bottom of the comments. I have answered everyone. You were 14. See, if I'd been 14, I could have gone to the show, but no. But also, my parents were stupid strict, which, in the hindsight, was probably a mistake because it made me more rebellious and devious. Not weirder than Tom Green or Pauly Shore. I have only heard nice things about Pauly Shore. I have not heard much about Tom Green. I don't have any impressions there, except that he's Canadian. And he married Drew Barrymore, right? Or they almost got married or something. You miss Amici's? Rodney, no. Trust me, I've eaten enough Amici's pizza for everyone here combined because they send it to the station for free for the last like 20 years. 25 years. Oh my God, 25 years since I started working here the first time. Yikes. All right, kids. I'm getting hungry and tired and cranky. And the troll is like tiresome. Freddie Got Fingered. I don't think I saw that movie. Like, I remember it being a movie, like the title rings a bell, but I'm pretty sure I didn't see it. But yeah, I have met Drew Barrymore, which is why it's weird if Tom Green is a weirdo, because Drew Barrymore is one of the nicest people I've ever come in contact with. She was so nice. Like, I thought it was a joke. Like, Drew Barrymore was at the Warfield when she was dating some guy in some band. I can't remember which one off the top of my head. But she was there the whole weekend. His band was playing. I think they did 2 nights or something. And she was going around like having conversations with everyone and being super sweet and interested in how people were doing and talking to them about everything. And just like, she was lovely to be around. So Amici's is one of the best 4 pizza spots you've had. You guys all need to get more pizza in your lives, because I love Amici's from a nostalgic and personal standpoint, and I appreciate them feeding me over the years, but they are not the best pizza by far. Oh, trolls. The troll says I should be ashamed of my Bohemian gypsy heritage. And I'm like, if I have gypsies in my Bohemian heritage, I would be fucking thrilled. I would be thrilled on like a Peaky Blinders level if I could prove that one great grandpa was a fucking gypsy, was Romany. Yeah, I'd be all about that. I'd be like, that explains why when I really wanted to curse that one teacher, she died of brain tumor. Yeah, there's a history of people who've pissed me off that have died. Yeah, but I'm not going into that tonight. I need to thoughts on Dr. Umar. I don't know who that is, but I do need to go. So ask me maybe tomorrow, probably Monday, sometime between 4 and 5. Stupid troll, up your game. I'll be back probably Monday between 4 and 5. Slope, yeah, the best in New Haven, Connecticut, and Amici's. Huh. All right. I mean, I've only been to Connecticut once, and I did not have pizza while I was there, so I'm not sure. Saxon, does Saxon is excellent. The Saxon guys are great. All right. Good night, guys. Good night, Rodney. If I don't see you tomorrow, which I probably won't, have a great weekend, and I will see y'all on Monday when Lamont comes back. So make sure you're here early listening online at 1077thebone.com or download the Bone app. Or if you're in the Bay, listen on the radio the old-fashioned way. Take care, guys.